This video is the last in the series about money problems. Make sure that you've watched videos 1, 2 and 3 before starting this one. In this one we're going to focus on jobs and wages and salaries. So here it says in this example, Bruce has a part-time job. He's paid £6.40 for every hour he works. Last week he worked for 24 hours. Work out his total pay for the week. So what I'm going to need to do here is the sum £6.40 times by 24. Now that's quite a difficult problem to solve without a calculator, so I'm going to go to one of my favourite methods, the grid method, and I'm actually going to work out 640 and I'm going to multiply this by 24. There is a video on grid multiplication. I'd suggest you look that up if you're not sure where 640, 20 and 4 came from. Okay, so working out this grid multiplication, I get 12 with 1, 2, 3 zeros. 4 times 2 is 8 with a couple of zeros. 24, 2 zeros, and 16 and 1 zero. Once I've got all of this, I'm going to add up all of these values. So I've got my 12,000, my 2,400, the 800, and the 160. Adding all of these up, I get 6 in this column. 4 plus 1 is 5 plus the 8 is 13. 2, 4, 5, and the 1 drops down there. Now it's important to remember that this is in pence, and also what I did was I took out these two decimal places and worked in pence, but I have to leave the answer in pounds. So this is £153 60p, and that's the total that he earned last week. In the second part of this example, Clark has a part-time job. He's paid £3.50 for every hour he works. Last week he was paid £42, and we need to work out how many hours he worked last week. So to do this, what I'm going to do is start by using the fact that £3.50 times 10 is £35, because that gets me really close to my 42, and I can multiply by 10 really easily without a calculator. Once I know that 10 hours is £35, I can start to add on 3/50s until I get to this 42. So £35 or 3,500 pence add to 350 pence. Now remember, this is 10 hours and this is the value for 1 hour. So this is going to give me £38.50 or 3,850p, and that's the value for 11 hours. Not quite there yet, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do 3850 and add on another lot of 350. This is going to give me 1, 12, 3 add 1 is 4, and I end up at £42 or 4,200 pence, and this is for 12 hours because I had 11 here, added on an extra 1 hour, which made a total of 12 hours. So my answer to this question: Clark worked for 12 hours last week. Here's a question for you to have a go at yourself. Structurally, it follows the very same format as the one we've just looked at. Pause the video here, hit play when you're ready for some answers. Okay, so like in the last example, I'm going to turn this into a grid multiplication problem to help me because I haven't got a calculator. So I need to do the sum £5.20 or 520 pence, which I'm going to turn into 520. And I need to multiply that by, wait, it doesn't tell me how many hours he's worked. It gives me some information though. So I need to do a secondary calculation to work out how many hours he actually worked. 8 hours a day, and I had 5 lots of that in the week, means he worked for 40 hours. Be really careful when you get to problems like this that they don't throw you. So I'm going to multiply this by 40, and that's going to give me this value here. Adding these two together, I get 20800, 20,800 pence. Remember, I need to turn this back into pounds, and in pounds this is £208 dead on. So that's how much he earned last week. Diana has a part-time job. She's paid £6.10 for every hour she works. Last week she was paid £73.20. So similarly to the previous example, I'm going to first start by doing £6.10 times 10. This takes me up to £61, which isn't quite there, but it's pretty close. So I'm going to turn this into pence, 6100, 6,100 pence, and I'm going to add on increments of our hourly wage. Now just a reminder, this is 10 hours she works there to get 6,100 or £61. So if I add on 610, which is 1 hour, I'm going to get the value 6710 or £67.10. That's 11 hours worth of work for her. It's not quite there, so I'm going to add on another lot. So I'm going to take 6710, which is 11 hours, and I'm going to add on another 1 hour worth of pay, which is £6.10, and that's going to give me 0, 2, 13, 7,320 or £73.20, which is the amount I wanted to arrive at. Just a reminder, this was worth 11 hours, this was 1 hour, so my new total comes from having 12 hours worth of work. So the answer to the question is that Diana worked for 12 hours last week. Here's a second question for you to have a go at. Pause the video here, hit play when you're ready for the answers. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Oliver has a part-time job. He's paid £8 for every hour he works. Last week he worked for 32.5 hours. So I'm going to need to do the sum £8 times 32.5 because he worked for that extra half an hour as well. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to do a grid multiplication to work out what 8 times 32 is, and that's fairly easy to do and you should be okay at doing that. So 8 times 32 actually gives me the answer of £256. The bit I'm most interested in is how to work out the extra half. So if he gets paid £8 for every hour and he only works for the half an hour here, then he's going to get half of this £8 pay, which is £4. So I'm going to need to add on £4 to what I've just worked out here to get 32.5 hours. This is going to give me a grand total of £260. So his total pay for the week, £260. Barry has a part-time job. He's paid £7.50 for every hour he works. Last week he was paid £105. So I'm going to start this one off again by working out 10 lots. This will give me the total for 10 hours, which is £75. Now I'm still quite a way off with this one, so what I'm going to do is do 750 times by 2. Now that gives me a total of £15. That's still not quite there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these two together and that will give me the total for 12 hours. So £75, which remember was 10 hours worth, and £15, which remember was 2 hours worth. This gives me a grand total of £90 for 12 hours worth of work. So I'm still not there yet, but I think I can see where I'm going with this one now. If I take the £90, which remember was 12 hours, and if I added on £15, which was 2 hours worth of work, when I add these two together I end up with £105, which was the amount I actually wanted, and that was 12 hours plus 2 hours, so he must have worked for a grand total of 14 hours to earn that pay. Well done if you got those questions right. Thanks for watching.